I'm 105 years old. That number still feels unreal when I say it, not because it's impressive, but because I don't feel like someone who should be allowed to say it. I feel like the same person I was at 20, just trapped inside a body that no longer listens. And I want to tell you something most people never hear until it's far too late. Everything you think you know about having time is wrong. I know that sounds dramatic. When I was young, I would have rolled my eyes at a sentence like that. I thought old people always exaggerated. I thought they forgot what it was like to be young. But standing where I am now, looking back across more than a century of living, I can tell you this with certainty. The biggest mistake of my life wasn't something I did. It was something I kept putting off. When I was 20, I believed time was generous. I believed it waited for you. I believed life unfolded in neat stages, like steps you climbed one at a time. First you worked hard, then you settled down, then you lived. That was the plan. That was what everyone around me believed. Joy, I thought, was something you earned later. Meaning, I thought, arrived once everything else was in place, so I didn't rush anything. I waited. I did exactly what I was told would lead to a good life. I got the education. I showed up early. I stayed late. I built a career. I earned respect. I provided. People used words like disciplined, responsible, reliable, and I believed that meant I was doing things right. From the outside, my life looked full, but what no one tells you when you're young is this: a life can look full and still be empty. The years didn't pass in dramatic moments. They passed in routines, mornings that blurred into evenings, evenings that became weeks, weeks that vanished into years. I remember telling myself the same things over and over again. I'll slow down later. I'll travel when things calm down. I'll make time when I'm older. I'll do what I love when I can afford it. Later became my favorite word, and later kept moving. That's the dangerous part. Nothing collapsed. There was no crisis, no disaster, no single moment where everything fell apart. Life didn't break. It hardened. Conversations grew shorter. Dreams felt impractical. Curiosity faded into caution. I told myself that was maturity. It wasn't. It was fear dressed up as responsibility. I stayed busy enough to avoid asking difficult questions, busy enough to silence that quiet voice that whispered, "Is this it?" I thought staying busy meant I was productive. I didn't realize it was also keeping me numb, and numbness is comfortable until one day it isn't. Time doesn't warn you when it's running out. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't slow down because you're not ready. It just keeps going. One day you wake up and realize the years you were waiting for already happened, and that realization doesn't arrive with noise. It arrives quietly, in a chair that stays empty, in a phone that doesn't ring anymore, in a silence that feels heavier than sound ever did. My regrets aren't about failure. I don't lie awake thinking about mistakes I made at work. I don't think about money I lost or opportunities that didn't work out. Those things fade. What stays are the things I never did at all, the places I never went because I was too busy, the conversations I postponed because I was too tired, the people I assumed would always be there, they weren't. I thought there would be more time, there wasn't. When you're young, you think life is about building success, building stability, building a future. But what no one tells you is that life is also about living while you build. I postponed joy as if it were irresponsible. I postponed connection as if it were optional. I postponed meaning as if it were guaranteed. It isn't. Here's the hardest lesson I learned. You don't wake up one day and suddenly feel old. You wake up feeling exactly the same. And then you realize the world has moved on without you. Your body slows down before your mind does. Your energy fades before your curiosity does. And suddenly the things you plan to do someday feel farther away than ever. Not because you don't want them anymore, but because time has quietly closed the door. If I could speak to my 20-year-old self, I wouldn't lecture him. I wouldn't tell him to be more successful. I wouldn't tell him to be more careful. I would tell him this: stop waiting for permission to live. Stop believing there will be a perfect moment. Stop trading years of your life for approval that won't matter. Start now, not when you're ready, not when things are easier, not when you have more money or more certainty. Now. Call the people you keep meaning to call. Take the trip you keep postponing. Make time for the things that make you feel alive, not just productive. Here's something I learned very late. The people who are happiest at the end of their lives aren't the ones who achieve the most. They're the ones who were present, the ones who loved openly, the ones who didn't keep waiting for life to begin. I wish I had learned that at 20. I didn't, and I paid for it with time I'll never get back. I'm 105 now. Every morning I wake up knowing there are fewer days ahead than behind, and strangely, that makes everything clear. When you understand time is limited, you stop wasting it. You stop postponing joy. You stop living on autopilot. You start choosing. You have a choice right now. You can keep telling yourself you have time. You can keep waiting for the right moment. You can keep putting your life on hold. Or you can learn from my mistake, because the truth is simple even if it's uncomfortable. The perfect time never comes. Later never arrives. And life doesn't wait. Don't waste decades learning what I learned too late. Live now, choose now, love now. Because one day, sooner than you think, you'll look back and realize the life you were waiting to live was always happening right in front of you. If this story made you pause, sit with that feeling. And if you don't want to learn this lesson the hard way, subscribe to learn from my mistakes. You still have time. Don't waste it.